Welcome back, students. This is Dr. Allenson, and this is Unit 6.1. Remember, you need to be taking good notes. And here is our target. It is MAFS 7 EE 2.4. We're going to be writing and graphing the solution of an inequality on a number line. So before we get started, let's go ahead and just go back to what we've been working on, and let's write an equation for this problem. Go ahead and read the problem and figure out what is our variable term, what is our constant term, and what is our total. Pause the video before you go on and see if you get the right answer. So if you wrote the right equation, you should have 3.25h, because that's our variable term, $3.25 per hour, plus $10. $10 is our constant. Doesn't matter how many hours I spend at the parking lot, I still have to pay that $10. And then my total that I spent for the day was $36. If I subtract $10 both sides and then divide by $3.25, you would have discovered that I was there for 8 hours. Now, let's talk about what is an inequality. Well, an inequality is a range of values rather than just one set answer or set number. An equation has one answer and only one answer, where an inequality has an infinite amount of answers, and we call that a solution set. It's just showing that the answer to an inequality has many, 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 many answers. Here's an example. X is any number greater than -4. And here's the fancy definition. What is an inequality? It's an algebraic relation showing that a quantity is greater than or less than another quantity. So here's a real life example. If we're driving on the highway, we want to make sure that we're going at least 55, but less than 75. Now, symbols. Remember, we have our 4 symbols, and you guys are going to be writing a foldable, so you should have that paper available to you. If not, take a piece of paper, fold it in half and then into fourths, and on the outside you're going to write greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. On the inside, for less than, these are the words that if you see them in a word problem, that is going to clue you into using this symbol. Is less than, is smaller than, and is below. Go ahead and pause the video as you write those down. Greater than, here are the words. Is more than, is greater than, is larger than, or above. Greater than or equals to, at least, no fewer than, a minimum of, no less than. And last but not least, less than or equal to, here are the words, at most, no more than, a maximum of, any more than. Make sure you have all of these written into your foldable. So solutions. Remember, you have an infinite amount of answers with an inequality versus just one answer. And how would you plot that on a number line? Well, you would have to show all the possible answers. So we're going to be shading our number lines either to the left or the right. So this graph, this right here is a graph of an inequality. This is saying that the answer can be all real numbers less than 2. Here's another example. See if you can figure out what this one represents. All real numbers greater than -2, because the number line is shaded to the right, and it starts at -2. And this is what it would look like. This is the solution set. Notice it has an inequality symbol, has a variable, and then a number. A fourth example. What do you notice different from the last example? This one represents all numbers less than or equal to 1, where the other ones didn't say equal to the number that we started with. So our number line is shaded to the left. And this is what the solution set would look like. Needs the variable, needs the inequality symbol, and needs a number. And one last example. See if you can figure this one out. This one is shaded to the right, so we're going to say greater than. Our number to start with right here is -3, so it's going to be greater than or equal to -3. And this is what the solution set would look like. Make sure you have all 4 of those examples written down in your notes. Now, did you notice some of the dots were solid and some of them were open? Why do you think that is? If the symbol is greater than or less than, then the dot is open because it cannot be equal to that number. Doesn't include it. However, if you have greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, the dot is solid because it includes that number. This is really important, so I would put a star next to that. So here's a real-life example. Sue ran a 2K race in 8 minutes. Write an inequality to describe the average speeds of runners who were faster than Sue. And then you graph the inequality. So take a few minutes, try it before you get the answer. So faster average speed means we're going to use greater than symbol. And we're going to compare it to the distance to Sue's time. So Sue's time is greater than 2K in 8 minutes. And how would we graph that? Well, we can simplify it to 1/4. And how do we graph that? We're going to put an open symbol little past 0. Should be right about here. Sorry, this is a little off in this PowerPoint. But it would be an open circle because we're using the greater than symbol. And then we would shade to the right because it's greater than. Now make sure that you have all your notes and go ahead and finish your summary and then go into 6.1 practice.